Hi there. I just want to do a talk. Um, Now all these different videos I do, I change them up. Sometimes I talk to the camera, me face to face. Sometimes I just have a picture on. Sometimes I have some music. Depends on the kind of talk as well. Uh, you know, and and meditation. Do that as often as possible because then you find the answers to things. But this talk is about freedom. There is none. It's in countries as well. It's really quite funny. When you observe people who actually think that they're living in a free society, surely they can't believe that. And you just have to look. You just have to look at it. You're born into the world. Your parents are telling you the way everything is. Got to get vaccinations. You go to school. You got to go to school. It's against the law not to. And you might go to university, and everyone else is programming you. So brainwashing is just a way of life. And there's apparently over 7 billion on the planet. So that means over 7 billion perspectives and ideas and opinions. But the system's got its way. And if you say the non-popular opinion, then you are crazy. And this is this apparent freedom that we all have in Britain. This is Britain, where I live. And the very idea of a country is crazy to begin with. The idea of a country, the whole point of naming a piece of land a country, is so that people, when they're born into that country, believe that that country is separate from every other pieces of land in the world, and therefore they'll be willing to die for it. That's the whole point. So then when there's a war situation, I'll protect my people, and the other side say, I'll protect my people. And it's all a game. And the system is laughing its head off at the stupidity of the many who believe in this rubbish. Surely they can't believe in this. I mean, I think to myself, surely they can't be that stupid. Surely, when you hear someone saying that Britain is a free society, I'm thinking, surely they don't believe that. Surely they're not aware that, why do you think so many countries are against Britain and America? It's obvious that we're like one of the worst ones. But it's a classic example of brainwashing, and they do this to every country. It's about programming, mind control, and getting them to believe that their country is the best country, and then they fight over it. And this is what they do to soldiers. Get them to believe in this rubbish, and the poor sods will go and fight for it and die for it. And for what? For the system trying to get rid of a few people on the planet. When there's other ways of doing it. But it's not just to get rid of people on the planet. That's what some people believe. It's not that. It's because, in my opinion, I believe it's a demonic force that's doing it. And the demonic forces, I've watched people talk about it on YouTube, people that are experts in this area, and they say that demonic entities feed off of depressive energy, and by having wars and killing and all this kind of stuff, you create fear and panic, and this is the kind of energy they live off, and apparently they die without this. So that's what I think it is. I don't know if it's reptilians but I would say more of a demonic energy. And there is no freedom. You just look at a baby. As soon as the baby's being born, the baby's being programmed by the parents that were programmed by their parents, and their parents were programmed by their parents, and their parents were programmed by the other parents. And it's a long line of programming. and you realize that programming is just the way life is. There's no getting away from it. So there's no freedom. The only time you can ever achieve freedom is actually if you don't listen to the outside noise. Everything outside of yourself is this prison. You have to go within yourself. You have to go inside yourself, and that's the only way to freedom, any sort of freedom. Outward is a bunch of people thinking that their way is right within over 7 billion people. Within billions on the planet, this person thinks, oh, no, this is right. This is definitely right. And the other person said, no, it's this way. No. But there's over 7 billion more. What about all the other 7 billion? What about all the other billions on the planet? But no. And this is the madness of society on planet Earth. It's so crazy that one person can think that their way is right. You know, and history as well. See, when someone says that, oh, this is definitely historic, or this civilization came from this place, well, actually, it's not true. Because all things have to come from nothing. Which means that everything's the same nothing. That means that the nothing is just awareness, and that's all we are, and it's all one awareness. And it also means that there's no time involved. There's no time within nothing. So it means there's no start point, there's no beginning or end. So all this stuff about history and past is other programming. And if you are the system, you've got to engineer the history. How do you engineer the history? You only have to program one generation. This is called counterintelligence, by the way. And counterintelligence is based upon all you have to do is program one generation, and they will program everyone else. And this is how you control all the fame, celebrities, outward information, is you just have to program one generation. Now, years ago, I think that they used to just like go into a piece of land and kill off the people, and then their children would become the people on that new piece of land that they call a country. And this domination is how everything's ruled. It's just done in different forms now. It's done in, what they're doing now is getting people to think that their way is the right way, the other way is the right way, and stopping the other opinions, and that's how they're ruling. So they're doing it in a psychological way, which is worse. You know, because then there will be never a chance for freedom. If you're psychologically making someone believe in their way is right, and the other opinion gets scrapped, then that means if anyone has a different opinion ever, which will end up coming, then they will be trapped in this prison. And it can stop people from expressing themselves. It's like what George Orwell called the thought police. So there is no freedom. And that's what this video has really been about, you know. And I just wanted to, very, very important that I've done this video. And the reason I did it is because my dad said that Britain was a free society the other day. And so I thought I would do a video upon that. So what I do is I basically observe everything and take in all words and informations, and I don't speak, and I wait and I do it on my videos. Because I'm always in meditation, you see. When I'm not doing these videos, even now, when I'm not doing these videos, I'm always in meditation. And so that's why there's very rarely any sort of response. And I can't be triggered. And when I do speak to anyone, it's always the words I want to get out. Even if it feels quite insultive. It feels like that to people that don't live their life by truth. I live my life by truth. So sometimes when you're speaking the truth to someone that doesn't live their life by truth, they think it's an insult. When you're actually just speaking from your heart. And you're trying to awaken them. But that to someone who is not awake is like an insult. But there is no freedom. No freedom at all. And all things outward, because everyone's being controlled, that means that every outward information, every film, every piece of entertainment is for programming. Reality is a bit like when you watch, I mean, I'm a Man United fan, and the only reason I haven't stopped watching them is because I'm trying to be loyal to them. But even that is to control everything. And sport, if you watch football, that's an example of it. You got two sides, and they think they're opposite from each other. And this is exactly how the programming works. And if you watch football, that's a right example of it. Or boxing even. But the boxing is a bit like the Global Awakening in a way. You know, you have them fighting, but the Global Awakening is like at the end when they're touching gloves and they're respectful. And everything becomes one at the end. That is kind of like the Global Awakening. That's what's going on. Where people are realizing this. This is why they're trying to say now, oh, should we have conspiracy theories? Because that's the system. See, what it does is the system makes it look like it's been our idea, but the perceptual programming was going long ago. You see, like I say, if you control one generation, that generation of children will then go on a certain road of perceptual programming, and then later on they will come up with ideas that began from the programming centuries ago. So then their children's children and their children's children will come up with ideas. This is what counterintelligence is. It's basically getting you on a perceptual road where you're going to think ideas but have already been put into you. That's what counterintelligence is. That's what the goal is. But the problem with this counterintelligence game is that if it doesn't work, then it will explode on your face to the system. That's what's happening with this Global Awakening. It's basically a TNT bomb exploding on the system. But I'm just going to end it there. Thank you for watching.